thank you and congratulations.
Thank you for all the work you do.
I want to say a huge congratulations to all of our award winners here today.
Thank you for making AI transformation a reality.
Every day we appreciate and are inspired by the work that you do.
At Microsoft, we simply would not be where we are without our partners.
Your success is truly our success. Our partners truly set Microsoft apart.
Thank you to our Partner of the Year award winners.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the EMEA EPS session. It's lovely to see a lot of old friends, new friends to make. I know that being here is a big commitment from your side to Microsoft at Ignite. It's a lovely place. It's a lovely event where we share and hopefully plan for success and joint success moving forward. My name is Ihab Foudeh. I am the Enterprise Partner Solution Lead for EMEA. I've been with Microsoft for over 20 years. I'm new to this role. I've been in this role for 4 months. I'm really looking forward to the partnership. We need to celebrate. This is a day of celebration. It is amazing to see that more than 50 EMEA partners have made it to the worldwide and country awards and finalists. And I know many of you are here in the audience. So congratulations to the partners and the winners of this year. And I'm really pleased to announce that we're having, for the very first time, the EMEA Partner Awards of the Year. And the category of the winning partners is for the winning system integrator, software development company, and channel. And I'm gonna start the celebrations. We'll celebrate later on tonight, but I would like to congratulate first Siemens for winning the Software Development Company of the Year. Congratulations. And I wanna congratulate Varanis for being the finalist. Congratulations. And I'd like to congratulate Accenture and Avanade for being the System Integrator Partner of EMEA of the Year. Congratulations. And the finalists, NTT Data. These awards really represent the partners' commitment to our customers and the partners that had the most impact on our customers in EMEA this year. So congratulations to all the winners and the finalists. The channel partners will be announced at a different occasion, so we'll wait for that one. Okay, so look, it's never been a better time to partner with Microsoft than today. You've seen yesterday a lot of the numbers related to the worldwide numbers. These are IDC numbers specific for EMEA. If you look at the total accessible market, addressable market in EMEA, it's over $350 billion. And this is across enterprise, SMC, and SMB. If we zoom into the enterprise accounts, or the enterprise business, it's $136 billion, growing over 17% year on year. Now let's focus even further into the cloud business. And it represents $89 billion, with a growth of almost 25%. You know what that means? It means $17 billion of additional forecasted revenue that our customers are willing to spend on the AI journey to modernize and to transform. These are numbers, but really behind the numbers, there are thousands of customers who are waiting for both of us, Microsoft and our partners, to co-innovate with them, to help them accelerate their transformation, leveraging AI to the fullest. Let's remember that. I want to take it a little bit deeper with that discussion. As you know from last year, Microsoft, we have simplified our offering in terms of 3 solution areas: the AI business solutions, the cloud and AI platforms, and the security business. We keep and we continue to innovate. I hope you all got excited about the announcements that we made yesterday. And you know what? There's more to come. If I look at where we are today, if we talk about cloud adoption, this is not a question anymore. It's not an option anymore. We know that cloud is the basic for any transformation. But I want to focus a little bit more on security. Maybe this is not known to some of us. This is a huge growth pillar for us in Microsoft, with an opportunity representing almost $11 billion in EMEA. And we believe that partners who would come up with trusted, compliant solutions will really stand out. And talking about the industries, according to IDC, of course, we focus on all industries, but these are the top spending industries: financial services, industrials, manufacturing, telco, and media, according to IDC. Now, we said that there are customers who are waiting for us to really help them transform. But we're going to do this together, and there is nothing wrong with making money while we do this, right? For both of us. So I want to drill down a little bit by, again, continuing the study of IDC on the survey they did for over 600 partners. And what they found out is for every revenue dollar that Microsoft makes, we've got an SI-led partner would make over $8. A ISV or a solution-led partner will make over $10, equivalent to that. That's according to the partners that have been surveyed. But there is an interesting data point as well. For partners who do 25% of their Microsoft business on AI, tend to forecast better revenue and better gross margins, according to this study. And by the way, this is consistent. We've been seeing this year on year, but this is the latest and the greatest that we got from our friends from IDC. So the opportunities is huge. $5 trillion by 2030. That's something that sometimes, you know what, we just say billions and trillions, and we just forget how big these numbers are. They're really big numbers. Okay, you heard a lot about the frontier company and the frontier firm and how Microsoft is innovating to help customers become frontier. It's how we let organizations be AI first, take AI and move it into the fabric of everything we do across the organization. And we know that there is a success criteria that Microsoft focuses on. And this has been going on for a while. So the success framework for us is really to help enrich employees' experiences, helping employees to do things faster, better, more efficient. It is helping our employees to know their customers better by increasing the pipeline, increasing the revenue, acquiring customers, making sure that our customers are satisfied. It's about re-engineering and reimagining the business processes and bending the curve on creativity and innovation. So the journey to become a frontier company or organization is unique to everybody, but there are some things that we can learn from. So if we look at the first phase of what does it mean to become frontier. First of all, this is a Microsoft study that we've done, and we looked at some of the traits of becoming frontier. We look at the AI deployment across the organization, AI maturity, the current agent use, and the projected agent use, and the ROI on the AI investment. Now, if you go from phase 1, 2 to 3, the first phase is really having an assistant to us that helps us do things better, faster, more accurate. And as we go along phase 2, that's when you have an agent colleague that works with you on some of the processes. And when the organization matures to phase 3, this is where human set agents to do workloads and processes entirely without any intervention. We intervene when needed. Now, what we've done, we have surveyed over 9,000 customers. Imagine that out of those were surveyed, only 844 customers met the criteria of being frontier. That talks to the opportunity that I talked about a bit. It's huge. And some interesting data points out of the decision makers of these organizations. 71% of the decision makers of these organizations say that they believe that they are thriving. 90%, they say that we are today doing meaningful work. And 93%, they are very bullish and optimistic about the future. There is an interesting number, not on the slide. Over 50% of those decision makers say that we are willing and we can take more work. Can you imagine? You go to an organization and people raise their hands and say, I can do more. North of 50% believe that they can do more. Okay, so I know we would like this session to be longer. I can talk a lot more about this stuff, but I want to say, first of all, that in this journey, we're not alone. We have you. You're not alone. You have us. We have a lot of go-to-market activities together. We have skilling activities together. We will share with you best practices. We will share with you our own innovation for you to use with our joint customers. And I want to just end my little speech here by saying, really, thank you. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for the trust. Together, we're leading the way in this innovative AI journey. And I think it is time for me now to introduce the Enterprise Partner Solutions team. I would start with Angela. Angela is the GTM lead. Angela was expecting some music.
Yeah, I thought I'd get ready.
And Ahmed, who's managing our ISV in EMEA, and Florian Deter, who's managing our SI. Angela, thank you.
Thank you, Ihab. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Evans. I'm delighted to be here with you all today in San Francisco. I lead the Enterprise Partner GTM organization in EMEA. We are a newly formed organization. Actually, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to share with you very briefly what our priorities are for this fiscal year. Now, I'm going to start with we are really here to accelerate AI go-to-market for our enterprise customers. And we will do that by working with you and by embedding AI into everything that we do from a go-to-market perspective. That's about leveraging co-pilots, generative AI, and advanced analytics with security throughout in all of our motions to our customers together. Now, we've also got a whole set of go-to-market investments that are in place to support you, accelerate pipeline, and create demand. And we do that. That's the Accelerate programs, that's marketing investments, and co-sell. All of those activities are there really to help you win and be successful in enterprise. Now, we just touched briefly on skilling, but I just remembered yesterday that Nicole talked about that between those partners, those businesses that invest between 10 and 20% of their time on skilling, are actually likely to grow more innovative, and lead in their industries. And she also shared some new announcements around our Partner Skilling Hub and the Agentic AI and Co-Pilot Skills Accelerator. These investments into skilling are helping you build the capability so that you can truly drive the agentic narrative. We have hands-on experiences, and there are a number of partner AI tours in EMEA in key cities, and I will share with you more of those later if you're not aware of them. And then finally, we are investing in compelling thought leadership. We are passionate about showcasing all of the great work that you do with your customers and amplifying through those use cases and those scenarios to inspire others to take on the agentic journey. Now, just before talking on thought leadership, and Ihab mentioned it briefly, but we've just recently launched an IDC white paper. And really the point of that white paper was around how do we help our EMEA partners maximize the opportunity of driving AI and agentic in the region. Now, within there, as well as a broad survey, there are depth interviews with some of our top AI-led software development companies who truly have embraced it from the beginning of running their business. We've got partners such as TeamViewer, UiPath, and several others included within their survey. And actually what we found as part of that was there is a framework of adoption required to truly accelerate. And really what we've learned is it's not a case of saying I'm going to maximize my position in one aspect of that plan. It's like they have to really activate across all elements of this journey. And not only that, it's about collaborating at scale within the partner ecosystems to enable you to reach more of those customers and really showcase those agentic skills. And of course, the foundation of all of that is trust and responsible AI practices and our position in terms of sovereignty, etc. So, because I've said sovereignty, I'm going to hand to the wonderful Florian, who's going to talk to you very briefly about our SI priorities.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want the clicker?
No, thank you.
I'll click for you.
Thank you, Angela. And good afternoon, everybody. Great to be here at Ignite today and to talk about how we strengthen the collaboration with our system integration and advisory partners in EMEA. Because these partnerships are so critical in helping our joint customers to A, navigate their digital transformation, but also B, unlock the full potential and the value of Microsoft technology. So let me quickly jump into a couple of priorities that we put together here. Number one, accelerate the frontier transformation of our customers. Here, advisor and system integration partner play a pivotal role because they are driving and crafting the AI strategy, but also driving the technology adoption. And let's, as a team, try to get every customer from experimentation, from pilot, from POC to really enterprise scale AI adoption and make them deliver a real tangible business outcome in all their business processes. Number two that's important to us is leading with industry and functional offering differentiation. You know, all our customers demand a very deep understanding of their business, of their sector, of their industries. And of course, they also demand that AI solutions meet their specific needs of the business challenges they have. And here's the opportunity, combining AI and cloud capabilities of Microsoft with your deep industry insights to create something amazing, outstanding, and something that's really shows a differentiated offering. Number three is driving customer success, and that's not only technology adoption. It's what typically SI and advisory partners do. It's everything about change management. It's about operating model transformation. It's about providing a clear roadmap how RI is delivered through different stages of technology. And we need your help on that one. And the last one is, of course, acting as a trusted advisor in security, regulatory, and everything sovereign. It's basically top of mind of every CXO I currently speak to. And with all the available offerings from sovereign and on security, on the stuff that we see around external key management or confidential compute, there are the tools where we need also US partners to help guide our customers through this complex regulatory landscape. So in summary, it's acceleration, it's differentiation, it's looking into making change successful, as well as acting as a trusted advisor, and that's a formula to win together. So I'll hand over to Ahmed.
Thank you. Look, I think, for me, SDCs, ISVs are critical to this journey with enterprise customers. So again, I like to kind of start with a couple of stats. Like building a thriving ecosystem of AI solutions is it's critical for the success of enterprise customers. Interesting stat that Ihab mentioned, look, for every dollar that we produce at Microsoft, our ISVs are producing $11. And that's critical. It's a win-win collaboration and a win-win partnership. Second is drive exponential cloud revenue through co-sell, right? How do we actually add more revenue to both our ISVs and enterprise customer? Again, an interesting stat we looked at from IDC, 25% additional revenue, 25% higher margins when you actually employ ISVs with enterprise. That's interesting because that means it's a win-win both for the enterprise and for the ISV and market share. Third priority is we need to win AI and agentic. You've heard it through Judson, Nicole, Ihab. You're hearing all of the great announcements that are happening. Winning this as a platform is critical. Means our ISVs are top of mind. They're the ones who are developing innovation, bringing the build with our customers and going through. And again, really interesting, 70% of our enterprise customers are going through an AI adoption or a Gen AI usage. Meaning, look, they are coming in to make sure how do they monetize AI. And third is expand market share. Look, we need to win if it's a digital native, if it's an enterprise, we need to win and go into market share, right? Again, interesting stat, 1/3 of all the new ISVs that are coming in are disruptors. Meaning these are the ones that are gonna help us grow and keep the innovation going for all our enterprise customers. And so to wrap up, again, I think take advantage of making sure that we can build that platform of choice. Microsoft is a platform of choice. Co-sell is important. This is where we drive top-line growth for all our ISVs. Come to us. How do we help crack enterprise customers? How do we actually expand across the board? Third, make sure AI and agentic is top of mind, and as you go to market across the board. And last is really kind of earning the trust and making sure that we bring in those early disruptors to our platform.
Great. So we're going to hear now from some of our Partner of the Year winners, but just before we do, we thought you might want to hear what winning Partner of the Year at an EMEA level means for them. Thank you, everyone.
It's a marker that we're doing things the right way with Microsoft.
It is amazing. It's a recognition for our all hard work and commitment that we partnered together and with so many wins.
And we look forward to growing even further with Microsoft.
It has been incredibly enriching for my business. We have done so many landmark deals.
And being able to bring in a proven technology leader like Microsoft, I think is very compelling. Take advantage of the great Microsoft programs that are available. They've invested a lot of money into partners like us. They want us to use it.
The Microsoft landscape is so large, it's important to be focused on what is really important for you and your clients. That really helps.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We've got a lot of friends with us today, don't we?
I know. This is a great conversation. Look, it's great that we don't have speaker notes on any of this. It's a good discussion across the board. So first of all, welcome,
Thank you.
John, and congratulations to Siemens and the Siemens team. I think this is great seeing our enterprise, both customers and partners, thriving in our ecosystem.
We're so excited to be here. It's such an honor to be here, and especially for this inaugural award from the European region.
Excellent. So, John, I want to kind of step us through the Siemens journey. What is Siemens? I think, look, we know Siemens is in healthcare, right? All the scanning, power generation, locomotives. And lucky or not, I was just consumer goods. I was shopping for a coffee maker, and I wanted the Siemens innovation.
Yeah.
I kind of said, I'm going to get that coffee maker in. The better creative half of my life said, oh, it's a great design and color. We're on the record, I bought it for the color, of course, on this. But step us through, like, how did Siemens go through this journey?
Yeah, so Siemens is a large corporation, right? And we do everything from like infrastructure down to industrial automation, right? And power generation, as you say. And now we're talking about software for manufacturing. And a lot of people don't know that we're in that business, but as a software manufacturer, one of the largest relative to manufacturing with a huge breadth of products.
Good. And again, as you go through this journey internal,
Yep.
You've heard Frontier, I think the Frontier transformation. How's Siemens kind of taken that transformation internally to your customers and actually the industry, manufacturing overall?
Yeah, this is a great question, right? I'm honored for us to be considered Frontier, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel like we're moving fast enough, and when I hear some of the very cool things that are happening with agentic AI that people are out on the bleeding edge with, I'm amazed with those things that are happening. For us, one of the core products that we have is our product lifecycle management tool called Teamcenter. And when we go out and talk to our customers, they give us feedback about what they want and what they need. And it is some of the same things you guys were just talking about on stage before. That idea of how do we reduce time to market with product development, right? How can I get a single source of data for my manufacturing information?
Yeah.
Right? How do I make sure that I'm able to communicate and collaborate from the shop floor to the office, right? In different languages, right? And that ability to, of course, integrate across all the different applications that they're using.
No.
We wish they were all Siemens products, and they're not, right? We understand.
Well, we'll have more awards coming up on that.
There we go.
John, moving to SaaS, right? I think typically manufacturing industry has been shop floor, as you mentioned, on-prem.
Yep.
And how's that journey to go from on-prem to cloud and the SaaS journey from a solution and to your customers?
It's been an interesting journey, right? As we've gone through that process, I think a few things have stood out, right? And that is really being able to highlight the benefits to our customers about why SaaS makes sense to them, right? And first and foremost, the products that we're implementing, like a PLM tool, really can take a while to implement. And so being able to do it in a SaaS environment actually reduces that time to implementation pretty significantly. The other thing is that cycle of every 3 years where you have to go through an update, oh my goodness, right? That still can be a painful process. And so that ability to always have the latest update with you, it's so valuable to them.
No, spot on.
Yeah.
And I think if we take that one extent, now that we move to SaaS, right? You've got the data there.
Yeah.
How's then have you seen agentic AI kind of be now implemented, taken to the next level? Now that you've gone SaaS, what's the next challenge after that?
Yeah. The journey for us on AI has been gradual. I'll start with talking about some of the things we've done, right? At first, that was things like we integrated Teams into our product lifecycle management tool, right? So we have that collaboration that can happen in real time. Super important, right? To get information off the shop floor, right to the manufacturing engineer, right to the and back to the floor. It's super important across multiple languages. Then we sort of went to that document intelligence, right? Like, again, that's a baby step, but for us, that was like one of the first steps that we took, right? Being able to sort of take all of the stuff that we have, that we've developed over the years, drop it in, let AI be magical with our support teams. And now we're starting to do what I would consider to be more interesting things, right? Today we have shape or part search that's embedded in Team Center.
That's right.
Right? We're starting to integrate small language models into our NXX product, our CAD and CAM product, right? We did some great work with Microsoft on that. And there's more things coming, right? We have a chat co-pilot that, again, now for our engineers is so important, right? The ability to go out and in natural language, right? Search documentation, search requirements, see what's out there. It's become really a game changer for us.
No, and I love that use case, right? Like once you have Copilot chat and you go in, you can then call in all the agents if you're doing engineering in the back, if you're doing maintenance. I think across all platforms I've seen really good, like Team Center on glasses, right, as you go through. So that for me is brings it live to the shop floor. I'd love to kind of dig in a bit on an example. I know 1 out of 4 bottlers comes from one manufacturing, Kronos, which is a joint customer of ours.
It is.
I'd love to hear about how is that joint partnership gone? How is that manufacturing? How's the win go through together?
Yeah, at Kronos, it's such a unique development, right? Again, as you said, 1 out of every 4 bottles in the world comes off a Kronos line. And they're out of Germany. They're a customer that we've had working with us for a while. But they took our NXX product, our CAD product, and started changing the way that they were looking at a product from 2D to 3D, right? And started building out their digital twin capabilities. So important, right? But it didn't stop there, right? We have another key partner, NVIDIA, who also had Omniverse there. And being able to integrate that in, again, from a Kronos perspective, it just talks about them being a leader in that space and wanting to make sure that they have an accurate digital twin, right, that can simulate the things that are happening on their shop floor.
No, and I think this is interesting, right? We think of AI and we think of Siemens hardware. Now we're looking at SaaS. We think of NVIDIA from a chip. Now we're going in like an Omniverse. And again, I think this is where we see the livelihood of where manufacturing is actually executing AI across the board. Lots of great examples. I think we can go on for a bit, but I'd love to talk about what's next. Like, how do we see the Siemens partnership going forward? how is co-sell together? I think that's a principle. Can you give us a bit of what's next?
Yeah. How many of you are out here are co-selling today? Anybody out here co-selling? I see a few.
All hands up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Again, what I'll say is, for us, that's been a motion that we've had to build out. We had a sales force who wasn't exactly sure. What if if the Microsoft guy can come in and steal my deal? What's that going to look like and feel like? So we've gone through an evolution that for us has been. Listen, we've fallen a few times. We've gotten up. We've learned very important things. For us, one of the key things has been actually working into the marketplace, right? When we sell these SaaS offers, right, being able to see the transition of our customers to these third-party marketplaces like Azure Marketplace. For us, that change happened last year. We literally saw a 4x jump in our marketplace transaction year over year.
Wow.
And our customers, and they are primarily enterprise customers, I'll be frank, right, who have MAC commitments, are dictating how they want to transact with us in the marketplace. They're saying that is so important to them, right, so that they can get credit to decrement.
Look, that commercial vehicle and being a win-win is great. Yeah. John, I really thank you for that in-depth conversation and kind of taking it to the next level. Just to close up, I think you've heard some themes, right? Like the journey with agentic and AI and SaaS is important, right? Go through it. If Siemens can go through it, lots of the enterprise customers, everyone can go through it. Second, I heard from you is, again, how do you actually integrate, right? Integration, Copilot chat, and some of this is really essential through. Third is, look, the commercialization of this and going through marketplace where it's a win-win, it's critical for the success.
That's
John,
exactly right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Look forward to next year.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it on this.
Thank you. Now I'll introduce Florian, and again, we'll talk about a bit more on the SI space. Florian?
Thank you, Ahmed. Yeah. Great talk. So let me welcome Pavan on stage. Yeah. He represents a good part of the winning team for System Integrator of the Year.
Thank you, Florian.
EMEA. And great to have you here. He is the Microsoft Business Group lead for EMEA, and we work alongside on a lot of topics together.
Great to
and great to have you here. The topic we want to talk about today is a topic that's really close to our heart. It's something that is basically in every conversation we currently have in front of customers, with every CXO, CTO, CIO, you name it. And it's because it's a real important topic for EMEA, and it's called sovereign cloud.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. Please take a seat. Let me maybe start with a little bit of context or some foundation. I mean, over the past decade, Microsoft has invested extensively in data privacy, compliance, and security, and sovereignty. So this is not a new conversation. It's a journey we've been leading for years. Starting with 2016 on the slide of an early commitment to European cloud capacity capability, to 2020, where we launched Defending Your Data, when we introduced the Microsoft Cloud for Sovereignty in 2022, and in the last 3 years, gradually building out mostly EU data boundary and a big investment in infrastructure that sits here in Europe. And this all comes, of course, with a couple of commitments, since in Europe, our customer expectations are, I'd say, especially clear, and it's also changing. I want to hear also what you're saying about that. I mean, it's all about how data must be protected, to how services remain resilient, to how technology contributes to long-term competitiveness. And we are committed to boosting Europe's competitiveness while keeping data and operations close to home, subject, of course, to European laws and regulations. And here's a couple of examples on that one. Like, we will help build a broad AI and cloud ecosystem across Europe by further investing on data center capacity and build out. We'll uphold Europe's digital resilience even when there's geopolitical volatility. I don't know if you've seen the press release yesterday in Europe around the resilience plan that we have now with Delos, an SAP subsidiary, for exactly these resilience cases. We'll also continue to protect the privacy of the European data according to European laws. And we will always help to protect and defend Europe's cybersecurity, and we'll continue to invest in that one. So it will be all about Europe's competitiveness, including for open source, including for skilling, and further investments. That's the current offering we have, because Europe has many regulations harmonized across many different countries, which provides a framework for us to provide a comprehensive, I'd say, spectrum of digital sovereignty capabilities. Here's a couple of them. In the middle is sovereign public cloud, which provides technical, operational, and contractual controls. There's also an option like sovereign private cloud, that's hybrid or disconnected cloud services and custom infrastructure. And there's national partner clouds currently available for Germany and France with Delos or Bleu. So, and this kind of solution brings together integrated productivity, security, and a cloud platform designed to enable European organizations to have a comprehensive solution. So,
good solution.
Good solution, And what I'm really interested now, since I gave a little bit of context, is what do you see in the market? And that's a specialization also. What do you see in the market in terms of happening? What are the drivers for sovereignty?
Yeah, so 2 years back, when you talk about sovereignty, it was about sovereign cloud. So you had data residency, and data security. And frankly, I was not so excited. But then what happens in the last 7 months was, because of AI, things changed. Because when you want to create applications on AI, you need to look at data quality. So many of the applications which have local relevance, data becomes important. So therefore, sovereign AI has basically created this multiplier effect. And so that is one part which is driving the whole wave. Then the second part is, if you see the AI market today, many countries and many organizations on the European side, they say that 70% is dominated by US, 30% is in China. And everybody wants to have a pie of the AI cake. And it just, right now, it's just been divided by 2 countries. So Saudi Arabia wants to have, Germany wants to have, France wants to have, UK wants to have. So that's the second part. And the third part is, and when you get into the whole AI piece, the digital intelligence part, which is so important, that cannot be given in the hands of somebody else, because that is precious. And then many governments, they see AI as a pride, and local talent is important. So when we did a research 7 months back, there was a pivot from seeing sovereign as a risk to a sovereign as a value, and therefore it becomes a source of competitive advantage. And therefore, when we looked at our analysis, about 60% of organizations want to go into sovereign AI. And some of the analyst reports, frankly, are mind-blowing in terms of the market opportunity, about $1 trillion in size in the next 5 years. So that basically makes this a key priority for both of us to partner and take this forward.
Cool. I mean, I see here a slide of the core pillars of success. And we also have a longer podcast together, a video podcast that we recorded. You can find it on YouTube and LinkedIn. But I want to really explore what makes Accenture's approach so unique here?
Yeah, so the world is changing. So most architectures that you see on sovereign cloud are very static. Let's take today's sovereign resolutions, take the controls that you need and have a static architecture. But when you look at the whole combining sovereign cloud with sovereign AI, and we call that sovereignty, then you need to look at a full stack AI, and therefore you apply the controls on sovereign cloud foundation, which is Azure. You can have Azure. The solution that you showed in the previous slide is fantastic, which is why I was able to relate to that. But then you get into the whole AI side of things. And what we heard in Ignite, for example, my buzzword is AFFW, which is Agent 365, your Foundry, and then you have your Work IQ and your Fabric IQ and all that. So
amazing.
So you put all of that into your AI platform service, you create AI patterns, and then you get into this industry-aligned accelerators. And the security, the governance, the operations is important. So we've created a reference framework entirely on Microsoft Stack that we can actually deploy for our clients on sovereignty. And that's what makes us unique in this space.
Cool. There's a couple of things that we currently have in the pipe that we're pursuing together. But where do you see, from your Accenture perspective, which industries are kind of seeing the greatest impact from a sovereign cloud adoption?
The lowest hanging fruit are public services, right? When you take citizen services, when you take safety, border controls, or whether you want to talk about defense, Those are pretty low-hanging fruit. But we see also greater adoption on, for example, financial services with regulations that are coming in specifically on the Euro side of things. And therefore, the health and the government service is all about creating AI apps for the industry, whereas the FS is about regulation. And then you have health and life sciences, for example, genomics, e-health platforms. So all of that, you need GDPR, and therefore you need to create solutions which basically cater to a particular geographical segment. And therefore, these use cases become very, very important. And these are just 3 industries, but frankly, the space can be expanded to many others.
So, cool. Thank you for the partnership here, Pavan. And thank you.
Delighted for the partnership, Florian.
Yeah. So, Angela will come on stage for a wrap-up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And so I'm between you and exit now. So I just wanted to very quickly wrap up the time. So I hope we've given you a sense of the new EPS organization and how excited we are to partner with you about accelerating the new frontier transformation in EMEA with partners for our success of our mutual customers. You've seen these themes throughout so many sessions in your time that you've been here. I'd love to call out just one session that is tomorrow at 3:30. If you want to learn more about the sovereign cloud opportunity, there's a specific partner session. So I would encourage you to go and follow up on that in itself. There are 2 other things just to remind you of. So the register for the AI tour for partners, London, Frankfurt, Paris, and Zurich. Sessions really dedicated in so many ways. There's the AKA link. Please do come along and invest in your skilling to enable you to grow and to accelerate those opportunities. And finally, because we all love a party, don't we? Let's truly celebrate what an amazing region that we have. Please join us later on this evening at the Mint, where we will further celebrate our successful partners and everybody in the EMEA region. And with that in mind, I would like to say thank you so much for your time today. And we look forward to connecting and spending more time with you later this evening. Thanks, everyone.